Hello and welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Dion Spires. The Police Athletic League is an organization devoted to preventing juvenile crime and violence. Today in the studio, we're learning all about the Police Athletic League and the good that they do for our community. For our first segment, I'm joined by Tim Abram and Preston Chatmon. Tim is the Senior Director for PAL, and Preston is a police officer for the program. Thank you both for joining me today.
How you doing, Dion?
I'm doing
good.
great.
Doing
it's good to have you guys here. Thanks for driving all the way from Lakeland.
Yeah, short drive over. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So I want to start off by giving the viewers a little bit of background of who you guys are before we dive into the program. Can you guys tell me a little bit about yourselves and how you got to where you are today?
Okay, Percy, you go first.
I'm the police officer that's assigned to the Police Athletic League. I'm approaching 8 years in law enforcement. I'm an active member of the Lakeland SWAT team, bicycle unit, honor guard, and an active recruiter as well. So my plate's pretty full when I'm clocked in on duty. I'm here because I've got a love for kids and seeing the youth develop in a proper way. So many times youth, they kind of go astray, especially when they're at the ages that the Police Athletic League typically deals with the youth in the teenage realm. So with the police officer being assigned to the Police Athletic League, it really builds that bridge between the law enforcement view on how everything runs, as well as the community's view on how everything runs. It builds a really nice bridge and fills that gap in with all the odds and ends with the negativity with law enforcement today. So,
And Tim, how did you get involved?
Yeah, I tell you, actually, I'm approaching my 10 years with PAL.
Wow.
I've been working with juveniles for over 23 years. I started working in the juvenile correctional facilities, helping kids who come into the juvenile system through broken focus, motivate and encourage them and give them the tools to go back out into the community and be productive. PAL was one of those programs that I saw as I was working as a juvenile correction officer. We saw that juvenile crime had such a high recidivism rate, where kids were coming back out in the community and getting locked back up. And I thought that was such a sad occasion. So PAL is one of those crime prevention programs where we prevent juveniles from going into the system. And if we could reach them early and provide positive experiences such as sports, education, and mentoring, doing after-school hours, where in America, between 3 and 8 juvenile crime tends to be very high. Right. And so PAL comes to life between 3 and 8, where we serve between 1,500 to 2,000 kids, depending on what programs we're providing. And I'm very passionate about keeping kids out of trouble, helping kids with broken focus get back on the right path and becoming productive citizens in our community. That's what we strive for. And so I have a passion with kids, a love for kids, and I want to see them do great things.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now you said that the need is there because the kids tend to get involved around that age with juvenile crime. How long has this been around? How long has it been in effect?
Actually, PAL has been around nationally since 1903. Actually, Captain, I want to say his name was John Sweeney, up in the New York area, saw a kid throwing rocks at a abandoned building. And I guess the kid didn't know that, he was damaging someone's property. And so the captain got out of his car and began to talk to the kid and, kind of position himself as a friend and say, hey, why are you doing this? And the kid's response was, I'm bored. I don't have anything to do. Mm-hmm. And so instead of, writing the kid up or whatever, the captain, I guess, went back to the station, talked about it, with his superiors, and they started PAL baseball in New York and then boxing. So law enforcement have played such a positive role in that aspect, and I tell people a lot of times, the Police Athletic League is the #1 law enforcement juvenile crime program in America. Wow. There's no other program for juveniles. The law enforcement play a major impact in the whole world in PAL. So it's over 400 PALs nationwide.
That's awesome.
Just here in the state of Florida, we have about 45 PAL chapters here in Florida.
How did we end up with one in Lakeland right here in Polk County?
Well, actually, we had a gentleman who is out of, I want to say, St. Pete, Jerry Badcock, who brought it to Lakeland, and it was in October of 1993, and PAL was incorporated right around that time with just a few kids and a couple of officers, and today, we serve over 2,000 kids, here, many years later. Now we have one in Winter Haven, we have one in Lake Wales, we have several in St. Pete, we have one in Orlando, we have I want to say 5 or 6 in Jacksonville, Florida. Wow. So we have a lot of PAL chapters who are doing a good job.
Definitely. Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit about the activities that you guys offer, the things that you do with the kids. When they're involved with the PAL program, what are they doing with the officers, and how is it benefiting them?
Well, the officers there on a day-to-day basis, okay. And so just them seeing and being connected and communicating, and the officer motivate them. I know he could talk from his perspective. Actually give them an opportunity to bond, to come to him when they're having problems and issues, because kids will come to him. They will relate. A lot of times, Officer Preston will be in a uniform, and kids look up to that. Mm-hmm. But he's positioned already as an officer in the PAL program to where it shows that we do provide a safe environment for kids to play and grow and develop. We have programs in football, basketball, track and field. We have a youth leadership mentoring program, which we have some kids today here that'll talk a little bit about that as well. Mm-hmm. We have an after-school program. We have, I know I'm probably missing a track and field program. So our programs it's about 10 programs that PAL offer.
You work with them a lot, so what is it like for you to work with them and then see the growth?
Law enforcement has unfortunately taken a black eye in the community the last few years. Mm-hmm. And being a person trying to change the view with the youth, I think that's where I fit right into that mold. Taking the uniform off is always good. Mm-hmm. The youth realize that you're a police officer. Traditionally, I'm dressed like I am today. I have a badge and my firearm on my side. But a lot of days I won't have the uniform on because it makes the kids a little bit more comfortable to talk to a police officer. And once you can build that friendship with them, it gives you the opportunity to not only develop, close-knit networking with the kids, but you can also, these kids are the ones that are out on the streets, so they know what happened. You're solving crimes that way. They're coming and talking to us because they're comfortable. They're not afraid of retaliation. You're motivating. The reason that I got into law enforcement, me personally, was because I was young and saw a police officer and a K-9 demo, and I said, oh, I got to do that. Yeah. So to be that for someone else, even if I only touch one kid, it's worth it.
Absolutely. So
definitely being in a position to take the uniform off and let them know that, hey, there's a person behind the uniform. And it's really a fine line to merge that law enforcement and that friendship. But if you can get it right, you really build a lot of friendships. You connect a lot of positivity to law enforcement and show the community that, hey, we're here to help and we're here to build up, not tear down.
Definitely. And I'm sure that you guys are making a huge difference in all these kids' lives.
Oh, yes.
Do you guys have any particular success stories that you can talk about? Maybe not names, but just someone who stood out that really came out of the program and you made a big difference for them.
I actually, one kid that came to us, and his mother could, I guess he was getting in a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. And his mother brought him to us, and I guess the kids had a lot of dreads, and she wanted him to cut his hair. And she wanted him to put on a belt because he had his pants kind of sagging down. Mm-hmm. And she wanted him to make his bed up, and she wanted him to, do all of these things. And she was like, fix him. And I'm like, fix him, And so we got the kid in the youth leadership program, and we began to take the kids on college tours where they're able to gain exposure, different colleges. And As we were touring one college, the tour guide person stated to me that you got one kid that stayed in the room after we left the dormitory. You didn't go back and check on him because he didn't come out. Yeah. So when I went back and checked on the kid, he was standing there, and he repeated back what the tour guide's chaperone stated. He said, "You mean to tell me that if I get a scholarship, that it pays for college, it pays for all of this?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's what a scholarship means." Mm-hmm. And he said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "So if I bring my GPA up to here and I get my core curriculum and all of that stuff just right, that I could come to school here?" And I said, "Yes, that's what she said." And over a matter of weeks, when we got back home, his mother came back in the office and said, "How did you fix him that quick?" And I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." Well, he cut his dreads, he had hanging down over his face. Mm-hmm. He got a belt on. He's making his bed up at home. He's washing dishes. How did you fix him? And I said, I don't know how we fixed him. But then I said, it was exposure. Mm-hmm. Sometimes kids' reality at home is kind of blighted. So when you take them away from here and show them something else, something that they can become, we've seen that have helped kids come back home, hit the books real hard, bring their GPA up, and go to college. Mm-hmm. Just taking them on college tours away from Lakeland. Getting a chance to stay in hotels. Many kids, I didn't know that kid had never left. He had never been as far as Jacksonville before.
Wow.
So to take this kid out of the state of Florida on a college tour, and now the exposure that he saw, I guess family wasn't able to afford, mm-hmm. travel or whatever, changed that kid's life to now he's motivated to do what he needs to do to be successful. So that's a great success story to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes I guess all it takes is a little bit of mentoring and exposure, like you said,
Correct.
to really change an outlook. Now, before we wrap up with you guys, we've got some kids in the second half that you said are from Youth Leadership Program, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that Youth Leadership Program and what that is so that the viewers know when we start talking about it?
The team mentoring program is a little special to me, and a lot of people tell you that's the Mr. Tim's program there.
Okay.
And the reason is, you got the football, the basketball, and track and field. And I play football, so I'm a very high advocate of football. Mm-hmm. But the kid that, after you pick the team that doesn't get picked, normally ends up in the mentoring program. The kid that's on the verge of becoming a gang member is the kid that we put in the mentoring program. And we also put kids in that program that are doing exceptionally well as well, so that they can see who to follow. Where you got almost like a gumbo in there. You got some good kids in there, and then you got some kids that, we're kind of working on, mm-hmm. Trying to build their self-esteem and encourage them so that they can see the good kid in them. And so the team mentoring program is so special to me. They do community service projects. They visit nursing homes. They learn how to give back early. They feed the homeless. They paint houses. They do all types of stuff. They also do the college tours as well. But they work together as a team in the community, and they put the emphasis on how to lead. These are teams leading other teams. So I'm very excited about that program. I didn't have nothing like that when I was coming up. Mm-hmm. But, that program is near and dear to my heart, because sometimes that's the kid that don't get picked as the favorite, football player or the favorite basketball player or the favorite soccer player. Mm-hmm. They're just kind of out there left on their own. That's the perfect program for them, the team mentoring.
Definitely. Yeah. Sounds like an awesome program, and I'm excited to hear about it more from the kids firsthand after the break.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for being here for the first half. Sounds like a great program that you guys have going on.
Thank you, Dion. Yeah.
It's time for a short break, but make sure that you stay tuned. I'll be back to talk with some students from the Lakeland Police Athletic League to learn about their experience and why they chose to attend.
When you're out in the sun and covering up isn't an option, sunscreen can help protect your skin from cancer and early skin aging. FDA-approved sunscreen comes in many forms. Whichever sunscreen you use, make sure it says broad spectrum and SPF 15 or higher on the label. Sunscreen should be carefully applied to all uncovered skin. Reapply about every 2 hours or more often if you're swimming or sweating. The sunscreen label will tell you if it's water resistant, and if so, for how long.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm here with Jasmine, Tariah, Sean, and we've got another Dion in the house. I'm in good company. They're all participants from Lakeland Police Athletic League. Thank you guys for being on the show today. I appreciate you coming out with your kind of mentors today.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. How are y'all doing?
Good.
So let's start out, just like we did in the first half, by getting to know you guys a little bit. Tell me a little bit about yourselves, where you go to school, how old you are, just whatever you have to say about yourselves. Introduce yourselves.
Well, I'm Tariah. I go to Lake Gibson High School. I'm in 10th grade. I'm an honor student. I've been PAL for 8 years with cheer, but I've been in the mentoring program for 3.
That's great.
Jasmine. I'm going into 9th grade. I go to All Saints Academy, and I've been in PAL since, I want to say 4th grade maybe. And I've been in the mentoring group since 7th grade.
Well, my name is Sean. I'm 14. I go to Lake Gibson. I'm being in 10th grade. This is actually my 2nd year with Lakeland PAL. And it's just a great program to be in.
Now you said Lakeland PAL. Were you involved in a different PAL
Yes,
before?
I was in Winter Haven PAL before I was in Lakeland PAL.
Great. And how long did you do Winter Havens?
2 years.
2 years. Okay, cool. And Dion?
I just want to let you know you have a very nice name.
Thank you. Thank you.
I go to Rochelle School of the Arts. I'm in the 8th grade. I'm currently standing on a 3.9 GPA. Right now, on my last report card, I had all A's and 1 high B. I'm in the band program at my school. I play 2 instruments. I play French horn and I play the trumpet. I actually played for the Lakeland PAL football team.
Nice.
Just last season, we were Super Bowl champs. And we actually went to go play in the national championship in Atlanta. I also used to run track for them. And I'm in the mentoring program. And, it's a very good program. Mr. Tim, he gives a lot of speeches. And Officer Preston, he's a very good mentor. I'm still trying to teach him how to dance.
He's not so good at that one? No. That's all right. I'm not either. I can't fault him for it.
Yeah, that's about me.
So how long have you been involved with PAL?
I've been in PAL for 5, going on 6 years.
Wow. So you guys have all been involved with PAL for a good few years now. Yeah. What got you guys going to it in the first place?
With me, it was cheerleading because, me and my little sister, we started around the same time. Mm-hmm. And so, we've always liked to dance and cheer. So, with PAL having cheerleading, I actually got it from a friend from school, and they introduced me to it. So I started cheer. And then from then on, with us being, champions at our competitions, I just continued, and now I'm in the PAL program. And, yeah.
Awesome.
I started PAL because I was doing cheerleading as well, and my mom helps with. She's on the board for PAL at the Lakeland PAL building, and she just told me to start going to the youth leadership program, and I actually liked it. So.
Well, I started it because I'm also in another leadership program at my school, FCCLA. I just thought I needed to do something else in the community to help out the community. So I found this program through, actually, Tariah. She's talking about it at school, so I thought it was a good thing to do over the summer and just help out my community.
Again, you have a very nice name.
Thank you.
My God. But I actually got into the program because of football, because my mom always said I had a lot of energy. So she signed me up for the football program, and it's just been good ever since.
Now, I know you guys said that you guys do cheerleading, you do football, track, and a variety of other things, very involved. So what is your primary activity in PAL? What do you do?
I do the mentoring program. I'm actually part of the track team, too.
Okay.
The brand new track team. The coach is Officer Preston.
Cool.
So
when you guys are talking about the mentorship program, is it you mentoring other teens, or do you each have a mentor within that program that's mentoring you?
It's mainly mini mentors, mentoring all of us, and just guiding us in the right direction so we can live better lives. But we all inspire each other. It's a bond. So as you learn people, you learn new things from everyone. So.
We start off the day basically with a speech from Mr. Tim, and then other mentors that volunteer or help us, they come in and they talk with us, and we we just get lunch and then talk some more, and then we end our day.
Sounds like a good time. So tell me a little bit about how you guys have benefited from this program. Obviously, in the first half, I can tell it's a great program that you guys are involved in. How has it affected you guys in a positive way, or helped you grow?
It's affected us because I think last year we went on a college tour to University of Florida, and I've never been there. Like, I've never seen their campus, and I'm a football player, so we actually got to go look at their workout room and look at their field, and it really, it showed me how good college is. 'Cause, everybody thinks college is just about school and stuff, but it actually looked like a fun campus, and they got some pretty good food there. So it kind of gave me a chance to see what other colleges are like in the state of Florida.
Yeah, it's same here. Besides the college tours, I learned that I love to public speak, and then I like to debate with Mr. Tim a lot. And the college tours, it just let you see a variety of the different things you can try throughout life and how you can get there and stuff.
Also, our trips when we go out of state, it teaches that there's more things than just what's here in Florida. When we went to Washington last year, we learned a lot of history when we went to different monuments and different colleges that we went to out there. It's just, it's a good thing to learn and become a better leader when you teach kids about different things.
And it's called Police Athletic League, but is it more than just sports? What else do you guys get involved in?
Yeah, because when, we have a conference that we go to, and it's a bunch of kids from all the different police athletic leagues, and we get together and, we do different activities. We learn how to join together as one instead of being a bunch of different groups. And then being with Police Athletic League, we speak on different topics. So on Wednesdays during the school year, if they're talking about this topic, if you have an opinion about it, they're open about it. They let you speak on what you believe.
Actually, they usually have a state conference every year. I think it's at Disney World? Yeah, it's at Disney World. I actually went, I got the chance to go last year, and it's very good because they bring, like Mr. Tim said, you got pals from Jacksonville, Tampa, you got pals from everywhere in the state of Florida that come out, and you don't just stay in your pal. They split you up among other pals so you can see what other pals are doing in their chapters, and you really get to interact with everybody there. And they give you free passes, so you get to, if you want, you could go with other people from different pals to different parks, and you can really bond with them and interact with them and make new friends up there.
Cool. Now we've talked a little bit about what you guys have learned about yourselves and how you guys have grown. What have you guys learned about the Lakeland Police Department throughout your communication with them?
Well, I've learned that you can have a bond with adults, and not just any adults, police officers or someone that's more superior than you or more superior than your parents. It's really a bond, and you learn about their job and then what they do, and you even learn when we go to Washington or wherever we went, we learn the college people, the teachers, and we learn all about them too. So it's a learning experience all around.
And I feel with the Police Athletic League, as you see on TV, you see a lot of children. You see all these tragedies that are involving police officers, so it really puts a bad reputation on all these police officers, but it's not all of them. It's just police officers, occasionally, they have to do their job. And Officer Preston, I didn't really used to like to talk to police officers, but when I met Officer Preston, he was just a really cool dude. When you're around him, you don't even notice he's a police officer, except he carries that gun everywhere. But yeah, it really lets you know that just because you see all this stuff about police officers, you can't really build a relationship with them.
Yeah. So just tell me a little bit about your relationship that you've developed with, even if it's not Mr. Tim and Officer Preston, just any mentors that you've met through the PAL program. Are there any that stand out to you?
Well, my relationship with Officer Preston, I think, is the best relationship I have with PAL because of the track team, and he's a really fun guy to be around. Just because he's a police officer doesn't mean he's a guy that always carries around a gun and thinks he's above the law. I think he's better than everyone. He's one of those police officers that's really down to earth, and he thinks that we all need to be the same and be equal.
My cheer coach, her mom, she's the best. She always helps us, and we always know that she has our back. And we actually got in a really good relationship, and she's friends with my mom, and me and her daughters are friends, and we always hang out together. And even outside of cheerleading, she's always there to help us, and yeah.
Now, I want the viewers to know, too, that you guys really are some great kids. Mr. Tim was telling me before we started rolling for the first half that you guys have some great GPAs. Dion, you already talked about yours, but how do you guys do in school? Like, what are your grades like?
Well, I have mainly A's at 1B, but my AP classes bring my GPA up to a 4.0.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My GPA is 3.7, and I ended the school year this year with A's and a couple B's.
Well, my GPA is 3.8. The AP classes do help a lot with your GPA, and right now, my last report card, I had straight A's.
That's awesome. So you guys are in AP classes, touring colleges and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Do you guys already have plans for after high school?
Yeah, I want to go to University of Miami, and I want to study in either fashion, but I want to be an entrepreneur, like I want to have my own business.
Big
But if,
goals.
I can't do that, then I'll be a fashion designer, and then I have things after that I'd like to do. I'd like to continue and cheer throughout college also, so.
I want to go to a college for law and become an attorney. And I already started a business with cupcakes and catering and things like that. And so I'm just already trying to get into the move of being an entrepreneur.
That's great.
Well, I want to go to Johnson & Wales University in Miami because it's been my dream since I've been like 9 years old. I want to become a chef when I grow up. So I want to go down there and study business and get my culinary degree at the same time. So open my own restaurant and keep going.
I want to go to either the University of Miami and the University of Florida for football. And then after I'm done with football, if football doesn't work out, I actually want to go to law school to become a lawyer.
All of you guys have huge goals, and it's like inspiring to me, and I'm an adult. So I love that you guys have those big dreams, and I hope that you guys really get to pursue them because that's going to be great. Before we sign off, because we're almost out of time, I want you guys to talk about what would you say to kids your age that maybe don't know about PAL or they've heard of it and they're not really into it yet. How would you encourage them to get involved?
Well, if you see like social media, whenever we're with our PAL friends, it's like a family. So like you're making another family outside of your home or outside of your school. And like some people may go to your school, so like you're just creating a better bond. And then like going to like tours and stuff, you just learn new people. And I just encourage them to join because it really is like a fun learning experience. And like times, it may not be always fun, but it is a learning experience. So throughout the speeches and the lectures, like you still learn something throughout it.
Also, if anybody would like to join PAL, I just say, don't try to be different. Just be yourself and just act how you normally act. Because everybody's there not to take you out of your comfort zone. They're there to be friends and a family with you. And also, as Mr. Tim said, it's exposure. You can, like, there's some kids that don't even live Lakeland, where I live. And some of them are my friends. And just joining PAL, we go out of state. Actually, this year we're going to Alabama and Atlanta. So you get to go out of state, you get exposure, you get to see what different states are like and what different colleges are like, instead of just always sitting down in Lakeland.
And did you guys have anything to add to that before we sign
Well,
off?
it's a really good family to be in, and it's a great thing for you to learn different things. If you heard about it, look it up, see what it's all about.
It's really good, and you just learn a lot all the time and create good friendships with people.
Definitely. Well, thank you guys so much for being here, and I wish you guys the best of luck in the program and the rest of your schooling and with your big dreams afterwards.
Well,
Because
Thank you.
I can tell you guys are going to go places.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for this month. If you would like more information about the Lakeland Police Athletic League, visit www.lakelandpal.org. If you'd like to catch this episode again, tune in to PGTV on Mondays, Wednesdays, or Fridays at 1 and 7 p.m. Or you can find us on the Polk Government YouTube page. Thanks for joining me on this episode of The Buzz. I'll see you next time.